everybody. Welcome to Field of Dreams on NCBN TT. I'm Steve David and I'm your host. Today we talk Goalcup football. And I speak Goalcup football with two of the best at speaking Goalcup football. Let me take time to introduce my two analysts. Welcome to the set, George Jefferson. George.
Thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure to be here.
And Anthony Clarke. Welcome to the set.
Good morning, Steve. Morning, Jeff. Always a pleasure.
I know you guys are so anxious to get going with this topic. So I would not hold you back in talking about it. Are we gonna get involved in what Trinidad has done before we go further, or what? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this?
Yeah, you could jump in. I mean, there's a lot that already been said. Vis-a-vis the performance or lack thereof of our senior team, and I don't think it was a surprise really to anybody, us not moving on past the group stage. We have to remember that we actually qualified for the group stage because Nicaragua was penalized, right? They were the ones qualifying automatically to the group stage, and we were to go into the playoff. And so for us, it was a bump up, right? And really and truly, if we had to be honest, looking at where we are in terms of our football and our preparation, I think that pre-tournament per se, I believe that is the level that we really are, rather than some of the teams that we would have met in the group stage. So
I'm scared to even let Clarke talk on this topic, but Clarke, what do you think generally?
I am totally disappointed. Not disappointed that we didn't come on the group stage, right? But disappointed in the fact that, right, you are not even seeing improvement, right? I have a long-term goal and vision of qualifying for the next World Cup. And for that reason, you want to see, the team progressing. And I would have hoped that the local team that Angus was coaching, that had a good result against Jamaica, and I think some other Caribbean side, that, they drew against Jamaica, they won against somebody else, that would have been the nucleus of the team. Because what are you preparing for? You're preparing for the next 4 years. And that preparation, the Gold Cup, is insignificant, right? Look at what the U.S. did. The U.S. played their B team because, maybe a C team, because they said about the Nations Cup that they're keeping the A team for the Nations Cup, but really and truly, most of those guys on that senior A-team, U.S. team would not be eligible in the next 4 years. So what they are focusing on is preparation for the World Cup. That is the ultimate stage, not the World Cup. And I have been an Angus fan, but I was truly, truly disappointed. Because for me as a coach, you can't be coaching 20, 30 guys on a regular basis locally and not one of those guys make your team. What does that say for you as a coach? That nobody from that squad, and just to think that the guys that you did pick, they're unfit, they're coming off injuries. So you telling me that the people that you have been coaching for months upon months are not good enough to even make the team before injured and unfit guys? Something is definitely wrong in that picture.
You see why I didn't want Clarke to talk about this? He's going head in and dive in and all that. Anyhow, but I'm surprised to hear you say we need to get to the next World Cup. I thought you would have said we need 8 years. That was your favorite song on this show, 8 years to prepare.
And it's still that. But my point is, that should be the goal of the coach and the TTFA. That should be their goal, to get to the next World Cup. And if that is their goal, then you would be preparing the team that you see will be eligible for that World Cup. None of those guys, maybe one or two of those guys on that team, may make that team in the next 4 years. Levi may be still good because he's playing at a high level,
Pretty young too.
and pretty young as well, right? But that is what you should be preparing for, all right? I still feel that we should have the under 8s, the under 10s, the under 12s, the under 14s. That is the group that we should be focusing on, because that is the only way. You can't patch a team together to make a World Cup. It must be a team that is united. Most of the teams that have emerged over the years, the nucleus of the team came from the under 17 teams, Argentina, England, all these, and then they went on to under 19, and that is the nucleus of the senior team now. And that is the natural progression to right success.
So Jefferson, were you disappointed? And if yes, what disappointed you?
Disappointed? I can't say that I'm disappointed, because again, a little closer to seeing right the level that we have in Trinidad and Tobago right now at the senior level. And to be honest, I keep saying that is where we are, really. What we saw there that's where we are. Right now, I mean, Clarke always mentioned that, and I mean, we are advocates for having long-term plans. It's clear we don't have that, right? We don't. We are trying some things now, and you know, Denzel has the U15s, right? And it's still too patchy. It's not tied to, you know, a logical progression, moving, you know, youngsters, preparing them here for the next level, and stepping them up. And I think without that, we always playing, and the plan is just to win the next game.
Correct.
We're always trying to win the next game. If you have a plan, your plan is to win the next game, I'm going to look for who I think is the best players now to put them into that game.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And that is where you're seeing that. So that's why, although, you know, Angus is working with a local bunch of players here, and again, he had ample time to see them because you have the league being played and so on. And while, you know, most of us who are involved, we're relieved to see football playing again, you still have that, but at least for me, there's a concern about the level, right? The level is really low, all right? The way football is being played and so on. Again, it doesn't directly relate to not playing over the last 3 years, because we have been on decline for quite some time, right? So we have to be, you know, honest about that. I mean, we have a tendency now to blame
COVID for everything,
you know? Yeah, well, all right, it's that, and you know, but if we are being honest, we have been on a decline for quite some time. We tend to we tend to overlook that young age group and put you know, that insignificant amount of time, resources, brain power into developing them, and then somehow magically we expect that when these players come up at the senior level, they're going to be able to go and beat teams that have been doing.
Right, I've always said, Jeff, right? In our glory days of football and eventually making the World Cup, that success came from the youth development, meaning the White Yorks, the Jaron Nixons, the so on, right, were under 16s at that time. Under 14s, the Angus Eve were the under 14s. They made the first World Cup, right, back, right at under 19. Above them was the Latapis, the Anthony Clarke, the Marvin Bostons, the Colin Rock. Above them was the Hudson Charles, the Kerry Jamesons, the Leonson Lewis, and so on. And those players and I've said this here already, those players from since the late 80s or the mid to late 80s carried football until 2007. It was not, and at that age, we used to beat the then senior team. Every single one of those teams used to play practices against the senior team and used to beat the senior team at the time. So we got the success at the senior level from those players coming up over the years from good youth training, because Jack Warner, in his early days in FIFA, he was the one that has Youth World Cup football playing now today. Our under-16 tournament was the test tournament for youth football. At that time, there was no world youth tournament, and he went to Jao Haviland and said, listen, youth football is a thing. It can bring out the fans, we can make money. And our CONCACAF under-16 tournament in 1983 was the test piece of world youth football. All right, I don't know if you knew that, Steve. All right, yeah? And so therefore his focus at that time was on youths, because it wasn't Trinidad, wasn't so therefore that pattern then and that preparation of youth teams then, that is what he was focused on. And that is what eventually lifted Trinidad and Tobago's football, because the youths went from one stage to the next stage to the next stage. Just before you come in again, Jeff, one of the things, because, and when you're coaching a youth team, you have to seriously consider the coach. And I am not against Theobald, but that is the wrong man for youth coaching. It must be somebody very experienced coaching youth football, because if you don't get the right coaching there, your development will be stunted there. So I'm not saying he's not a good coach, I'm not saying he's not doing a good job, I don't know, I haven't seen it. But you need somebody experienced, somebody who has gone through the rigors of even senior coaching and now know what is required to prepare a senior player to start coaching the youth. It's not that you have a youth team and you'll take an inexperienced coach to coach a youth team.
If I was going to ask you to name a name, you're going to say Stuart Charles. So I'm not going to ask you to name anybody. But let's talk about, what do you think in that Gold Cup? What did we do good? Or what should we be proud of? Or what should we be excited about moving forward? We hearing all the negative things. What's positive? What positive vibes came out of that?
That's a little bit difficult, Steve, to be honest. But we again, on an individual level, we do see that there are some young players who would be able to fit into a good team going forward, right? You have the Aubrey boy who played on the left side. No, Aubrey, the short player.
Or the
you
small,
have,
short guy. Yeah.
You know,
where's Judo
you know,
Garcia? Was he around?
I believe he was injured. I think he was in still in Greece. But yeah, Haji, you do have some players, right? What's his name? Daniel or something like that. The guy who played. He came on and scored the third goal against St. Kitts. Right? Yeah. So in terms of personnel, and that's what I'm saying, there is. You have players there that can contribute going forward, right? And again, having gotten the experience of playing at that level, hopefully we can, put things together and create opportunities and avenues for them to get international games. One of the things that, for me, I thought is still lacking, and this is something that people don't really mention. You have a situation where all the FIFA windows need been used, right? So yes, a coach is responsible for the results that he gets. But one of the things that I always keep, reminding people, we can get whatever coach we want and bring in here. he will not get better results than we're getting now.
I totally
because
agree.
we don't have the
Quality.
support, we don't have the framework, right, to get success at the next level, right? Jamaica was our peer competition, right, back in the day. Pre-Goalcup, they came from a tour of Europe, playing Australia and
Correct.
you know, 3 or 4.
Who did we play?
Nobody. You understand what I'm saying? We went to Guatemala or something like that, right?
But
One
he used the
game.
local team
And
then as well.
exactly. Use it. So we don't have, but he has to do that because he didn't have enough games to see people. That's how you know. You can go and train for 2 years. You need games, and not just any game. A practice
Quality
game against here,
international game.
carry the team, let them play against that same Haiti team that we see playing there. I'm looking at these teams, and Steve, we can't compete with those teams. We can't. Right? And those are the teams that we will want to
And we were far
back.
above those
Far,
teams
far,
in the past.
far. But when you look at their preparation, right? People talking about the USA. America was able to gift some of these players who would not have seen a senior team a Gold Cup experience.
And that is what we should have been
You
doing.
understand? Exactly. That's if you have a plan.
That's if you have a
If you
plan.
don't have a plan,
You're
and you're
studying
trying
to win the next game.
that next game,
all the time.
you're behind. You're behind, and you're behind, and we're falling further and further behind.
Steve, right, Jeff, let me remind you of this. Even back in the day with W Connection, when we had tournaments to play, we went Colombia, we went Italy,
Yeah,
he said
preparation was-
preparation, just
Yeah.
to play CONCACAF game at a club level, Venezuela,
Yeah.
at a club level. The national team not doing that type of preparation. We looking to play Guyana, Jamal Shabazz Guyana team, the Grenada team, Barbados when Russell Atibu was coaching
And we still
Barbados.
can't get them. In this preparation here, we didn't get games. I looked at window after window, passing, and again I was able to talk to Angus, and nothing, but I mean that can't work. That
So
cannot
who
work.
we blaming? Who we blaming for that?
No, but the thing about it is, I think we've gone past that part about blaming, and because for me,
But who's supposed
The-
to
the-
do it then?
but that's what I'm saying. You
Make
have
that
the NC, and people would say you're knocking them, but whatever. But there's no framework in place. And when we come back, and there's another analogy that we can use to show that.
Let me answer that
Well, we can't
question. I
even
would
measure. We can't measure players properly. We can't measure staff properly because we operating in a system that doesn't really.
I'll give you 1 minute to do it.
No, I don't need to take 1 minute, but I'll address it and I'll address that in the next, in the next segment,
Who we
right?
blame?
But
Or who
yes, so
should be doing
right, to start with that, you have to understand first of all what Jeff said. We have been in decline for a number of years, and not right. In fact, a number of decades,
Yeah.
right? And we as a country are not planners. We don't plan properly. We don't look into the future. We don't have good vision. We killed the one man that had vision, Patrick Manning. and that is our problem. We don't like vision.
But David,
Right, we killed David John Williams because he had vision. We don't like people with vision.
yeah, but hold for a second. When we come back, I'll let you get into that. All right? Viewers, we'll be right back after the short break. welcome back, viewers. Be- Before the break, we were saying the two visionaries is gone across the border. Patrick Manning and David John Williams. I'll let you pick up on there.
Let's see, that's our problem. We look for instant gratification all the time and instant results, right? And we don't understand that preparation is required for results, for success, for long-term success. That you have to have a good foundation. You can't build a house without spending the time on the foundation for you to, right, for that house to last a lifetime. The foundation is the key, right? And if we don't get this, and everybody who's looking to be administrators and so on, in football, they have self-interest. If you carried a campaign to get rid of a man who was the only person who gave Trinidad and Tobago something. All the years Jack Warner was there and in FIFA, Trinidad and Tobago didn't own a pebble. This man came in 4 years' time. And today, the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association has assets, right? And you campaigned everything to get rid of that man. He didn't go in there for his own gratification. He went in there to give something to Trinidad and Tobago football. And if we don't have this view of how football should evolve in the future, our football will continue to decline. Right? Let me show you the vision. He made 8 football fields. He gave you a 75-room hotel where all the teams could have stayed there at the same time. He made a youth dorm. He made a beach soccer field. He made an entertainment area where it is that the TTFA could have their own events and generate income. That is vision.
I'll give you one. Get rid of heart.
Well,
So, oh, you address that one.
Yeah.
right, you know what? Right, let me answer that, Jeff, first. Getting rid of Hart was part of the vision. Why? His focus was not on his senior team. The quantum of money that was being paid to Hart and the other coach he got, Dennis Lawrence, was paid at least 50% less. So that money could have gone into youth development, where vision comes from, where the senior team and dealing with the foundation. So I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but it was an element of his plan of how the football has to be evolved.
So leave Hart and bring, what's his name?
Where would he get the money from?
No, wait, what do you mean where?
The salary that Hart was getting,
Oh, okay.
Dennis Lawrence was getting 50% less of that. Think of it.
Okay.
You're getting $30,000 US a month for one coach. You now have 15,000 US every month to now put into other areas of development of the youth so that you can get along. Because even at that time, we were only focused on the results of the senior team at that time, and then we have no future because we have no feeder program into the senior team, you know. We were still bringing back players.
Okay.
Right.
And
Yeah.
before, he did that. And who were the feeder players that came in? None. So that broke
Right.
down. That's probably
No, it
broke
didn't break down. but
That's what, for me, right? Now, to deal with the issue of who do we blame, we can go back and pick, at the minutiae of what he did, what he didn't do, and stuff. And for me, that's irrelevant today. We have to first define what is success, right? Now, I can be a little bit mischievous and said that if that's not done, we don't know if this NC is being successful right now. Maybe this is what they want to do. maybe they wanted to destroy football and let everything
I
fall
don't think
apart.
that's the NC's
And just let me follow this, because if the people, and that's what I'm saying, we keep going to it, who is the people? If they are the ones hiring coaches, who has the vision? Has to be them. You can hire a coach and just put him on the field without any tangible or any measurable benchmarks. What is your hiring a coach? Okay, what we want is this, 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 and this. In your 2-year contract, your 3-year contract, your 1-year contract, this is what we like to see. Now
let me pull you back just in the conversation. The NC's mandate came from FIFA. The NC's mandate, wait, hear me out. The NC's mandate was to bring financial state. Their only objective.
Which they have not done till this stage,
I know,
3 years in.
Right, but what I'm saying is their mandate has nothing to do with football.
Let me finish. Well, then they can't be there. If they have nothing to do with football, why are they selecting coaches? Why?
So who want them to select coaches? Who is to select coaches?
Point. So then let's pause. Let's don't do anything, right? Let them get the finances from where? To do what? And this finances for football? And that's what I'm saying. Now, we don't want to look at some of the issues that are systemic, right? We having problems to put proper structures in football that would make it sustainable, that would make football and see us back to where we need to be. If we continue doing things that we're doing now, we'll continue to get the results that we are getting now.
And what are those structures?
Well, this will be now we're saying, when a coach is hired, right, and we try now, as I'm saying, we need to define what is success. Is success going to trying to win the next game? Is that what we're going to see as success? Okay, we go on, our next game is in the Nations League, and we're going to play, I can't remember who it is, we're going to win that game. Is that what we see as success? So if we lose that game, then we failed. If we win that game, we succeeded. But then we go and try to win the next game. You understand what I'm saying? So that does not, it doesn't have anything that is tied to a sustainable model. Because again, we're looking at that next Nation League game is a senior team game. What happens to the youth football? Who is going to put the structure in place? Who is going to make sure that you have
for long-term
coaches? Exactly. Coaches being trained, players, a pool of players, not just one. And that's one of my critique, if I have to do so, with the under-15 program, the so-called elite program. You have one pool of players nationally. So you have players who are in school, coming from Point, or coming from Moruga, or coming from wherever, traveling twice a week, which is insufficient. But again, because of the school players, they can't do it more than that. So then the system itself, which is supposed to bear fruit, ends up being just a measure to say you're doing something. It's not going to meet its objectives because the same players who would have been rise to the top in their community, the same players who would rise to the top there, because they're not getting, I think like you mentioned that already, that detail, attention that's required, because you have about 40-something players in a pool with just, about probably 3 coaches. That's not enough. For that level, that's not enough, right?
Jeff, let me get in here. I want to go back to the statement of the normalization, because again, we're focusing now. The normalization committee is here because of the systemic problems we have had over the decade,
Yeah.
of no planning, no succession planning, and so on. The normalization committee's mandate is ready to protect FIFA and FIFA being sued and all that type of thing. Bring financial stability, the money you get, pay off the debts that you have, and so on and so forth. When that is done, and FIFA feels that it is now able for locals to run it based on an all that is cancelled, they will remove the normalization committee. Their mandate, remember, is not the successful planning of football and how Trinidad and Tobago football is to be evolved and all that type of thing. That is not their mandate,
So
right? Wait, just now, let me finish, right? That is not their mandate, right? Their mandate was given by FIFA, and that was not part of it. So they are doing their job, right? This problem has not come because of the normalization committee, right? Let me get that straight.
Which problem?
This problem of the performance of Trinidad and Tobago football team and the succession planning of Trinidad and Tobago football, it has not been caused by the normalization committee.
This issue here we're talking about, Goalcup, this
No,
came from
Jeff.
the normalization committee.
What about the other Gold Cups? What about the Gold Cups of the past?
They have to take responsibility for this.
But Jeff, what about the Gold Cups of the past?
The question was
Wait, let me finish.
The question from Steve was,
let me finish.
Who's to blame?
Let me finish.
Steve, I started off by saying, well, I wanted to be a little diplomatic. Blame goes on the head.
Jeff, you had your chance, right? Let me go ahead with my point, and then you could rebuff. You could rebuff, right? When Steve asks of blame, again, you are acting like if you're dealing with the result that just happened. I am talking about what happened to Trinidad and Tobago football over the years from when we were here. When you're talking about blame, I'm not looking at what happened just now. I'm looking at the blame of where we declined from. And where we declined from was not as a result of the normalization committee. The normalization committee is here because of the decline. So therefore, when you're looking at blame, you have to learn about where our decline started from, how we reach here. That is the blame I'm looking at. I'm not looking at what happened now.
You just said that's not the normalization committee
role. That is what it is. It's not their role. So therefore, right, and you said it earlier, you know, therefore, the systematic decline, that is the blame I'm looking at, of Trinidad and Tobago's football is as a result of no succession planning.
Well, where did that systematic
What is what I'm saying?
started?
So
that systematic started.
So blame Jack Warner.
No.
Well, wait, let me
No,
hear
that's
where.
That
Let's hear
systematic
where it
decline, and I said it.
Where?
That systematic decline started from when we stopped focusing on youth football development.
And where was that?
In the 90s.
That is my point.
What I'm saying,
That is the point.
when are we going to say, I understand,
That is
Clarke,
the
I
point.
understand, Clarke, what Clarke is saying.
That is
but
the point.
what are we going to say? What's the benefit in saying, listen, the problem started in the 90s, so let's blame people in the 90s. No.
Yeah.
There are people today who are responsible for putting us on the right track. Are they doing that? Yes or no? No. They are not
That is
doing
not their
that.
mandate.
They are not
That
putting
is
us on the
not
right
their
track.
mandate.
Well, let them
Part of the
move.
mandate, it should be.
But it is FIFA who put them there.
Let them move.
It is FIFA who put them there to bring
Let them
finance.
move.
You see, you don't have the authority to say that.
I didn't say that. I have the authority
And the
to
benefit,
talk on this program. That's it.
of, right, and the benefit of, wait just now, Steve, and the benefit of why FIFA put them there is not to develop Trinidad and Tobago's football.
So we're going down.
We're not going down. We have to start over.
we're going down.
No.
So-
And right,
And
here's
that's
what
I'm
people don't
saying.
understand.
Maybe they've been successful.
No, that is my point.
All right.
To start over, Steve, we have to start over. I have said that over and over and over on this program.
Right.
We have to start over from the foundation.
So
Football cannot move anywhere without finances.
who started? Who has to do
And
it?
that is what FIFA is doing. That is what
And
FIFA
they
is doing.
put normalization.
We're
committee
talking
to
about
represent that.
performance here.
Okay.
But to get performance, you have to have finances. So what they are doing is they are remodeling to make sure, because we are in debt,
The finances.
we are making sure
So
that we get
who
it.
in charge of the football?
Well, then we had a great tournament, Steve. We had a good tournament.
That is not the objective of the normalization
I
committee.
understand. I'm
Right.
asking you, who is in charge and responsible for football?
The
to make it-
stakeholders of Trinidad and Tobago football can come together if they so like, the stakeholders, and have one common goal. We don't have that. We are a fragmented community. Football in Trinidad and Tobago, everybody's looking at football from their own interest.
Right.
And we are a fragmented community. That is why the person with the vision, the fragmented community, instead of coming together, trying to help, right, grow the football, they were at total disagreement with what David John Williams was doing at the time. And therefore, they decided to mash that up, right? David John Williams had presented to FIFA a program of how he was going to bring down the debt. And FIFA accepted that program. David, part of that program was showing them, listen, if you give me money to build this hotel, this is the probability of income generation. And because it have the Carifta games coming, it have the cycling coming, they would rent from us. It have the cricket, the CPL. I'm telling you what happened. It had the CPL.
We understand.
Right. That is what
that.
was. So he gave them a systematic plan on how he was going to deal with the debt over a period of time. They accepted that. And then he also gave them the program of dealing with the youths, of bringing football up. He had Stuart Charles there, one of the people who everybody feel right should have been his senior coach. He put Stuart Charles to deal with the under 15s and under 16s because he was preparing for the future.
So
The normalized, the United TTFA, when they won the election, they scrapped every single plan that FIFA agreed to.
okay, so if FIFA send the normalization committee to do all that, including finance, why didn't you just follow the plan? So we do
So the
football
plan's
and
supposed to be there.
finance at the same time.
Remember when
And
they
that's
came
FIFA.
in?
George Williams already had it and FIFA accepted it.
FIFA came in, what happened was, and I'm going to tell you what happened. The United TTFA won. And the first thing they did was to hire a marketing guy where they signed a contract with him to pay him $25,000 US a month.
Get new
Peter Miller.
United-
Well, I'm showing you what happened.
No, no, no.
Right? I'm
Forget
showing you what happened.
United TTFA.
No, I cannot forget because that is why the normalization committee is here.
Right.
That
but
is
I'm
why
saying
they're
to
here.
You said FIFA accepted
Uh-huh.
what John Williams had
Correct.
in place.
Mhm.
So if FIFA accepted,
Yeah.
and then they threw water on the United TTFA, and they brought the normalization committee in,
Put it
they
down in
should
place.
give them the same mandate like what John Williams
But
had.
my plan is if you went, and that is why I can't forget the United TTFA, if you put more commitments on the TTFA, which is what they did, they went ahead and added more debt, which the normalization committee has to come in now and deal with that, meaning that they went into more contracts. They had a contract with Peter Miller for $25,000 US a month to market. They hired Mr. Ramdan, started to pay him at $25,000 US dollars a month, and so on. And therefore, additional debt came into place. And you now had to deal with those contractual agreements that everything went awry.
Okay, let's pause. Put him on pause for a second. When we come back, we can pick up where you left off, right? Viewers will be right back after a short break.
Trinbago Heritage, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on NCBN TT Television Network.
Change Talk TV, tell us our boy better stay calm, be cool.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. All right, guys. So we had some fire power going, right? About this. Was it election? It sounds like though it's a government election. Is it? No. It's not. But the whole point is figure out where we went wrong, right? And and FIFA send the normalization committee to do a job. Clarke is saying their mandate is finance. Their biggest, they come to take care of finance, and that's it. And we saying, meaning Jeff is saying, well, you can't do finance and just forget about football.
We could have been banned, eh? We
Yeah.
could have been banned.
It should have been banned.
Right. So
I
if
would
we
have
were
taken the
banned,
ban.
what would have happened?
I would have taken the ban.
That's my point.
I would have taken the ban, Stephen. I said that
we
here
could
on this
really
program
took
already.
the ban.
Exactly, because then
Yeah.
the leeches would have fallen off the football, and those who really want to build would have been there because there would have been no money in it, right? But you see the $2 we get from FIFA, everybody does pretend and all kind of thing, you know. But you see that
And I totally
they
agree
want
with
that. Take a 3-year, 4-year ban,
And build
fix
football.
your football from the bottom,
Right.
But who
and
would have fixed
build
it?
it back up. The ones who not, the same one you're talking about who look in the
Who
scrape the
don't
bottom of
want
the
the money,
barrel,
yes,
exactly. Those who want, it have plenty, you know.
And
But let me tell you
totally,
something.
right, I agree with that point.
What we need is what we're not willing to do, Steve. And that's why I have been, again, in and around in a more, close way to the administration, which I don't like, actually. I don't like. Because,
You had to be there to
Well,
help
Because
fix
you can't
it.
say what you
You
want
had
to
to be
say.
there to help fix it.
no,
You can't say what you want to say. That's why you don't
watch
like the
man,
program.
it's too much. It's too much foolishness. It's too much foolishness. And the thing about it is, we be talking about the football. The football is the product. If you don't have football, you have nothing to sell, you have nothing to market, you have nothing to... So people are going to just give you finance to do what?
Right.
To build a structure that is not,
Not-
and connected to a product. That's how it works, right? And again, that's why I understand the importance of having a senior team, which is a flagship team. Now, what you need is to explain. The people have been disregarded, the fans, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we are the stakeholders, right? People who have titles and carry this and that one of this association. No, the football belongs to Trinidad and Tobago. And if you, as a coach, as an administrator, come and you say, listen, what we want, we have a plan we're going to rebuild. This is 10 years, right? You have to bring the people because the people is the one who have to support it, right? We're going with the younger players. These are the players that we target. We have these development programs in place. We're going to contribute the younger players, let's say under 20, and you're adding a couple senior players to that mix because they will need that going forward. Players who have the right attitude, who bring the right environment to the training and so on. And you go to tournaments now with this team. The objective there is, of course, not to win the tournament. The objective there is to expose players to a higher level, right? So that if you have, let's say, an under-20 team doing that, and they're playing up with your senior team, when they go back and play the under-20 tournaments, guess what? They're much better now at under-20, right? You're feeding up the younger ones, the 17s into the 20 and so on. Now, again, this is not reinventing the wheel. I didn't invent that. This is how proper football development is done.
Correct.
All over the world.
Correct.
Why
I
can't
didn't
we
invent
not
that.
Why can't we
right?
not do it?
But that's
Why?
what I'm saying.
We
There
have a
is
TTFL.
no will to do that. We want to win the next game. And you can't win the next game without any players.
Jeff,
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. The only thing that I disagree with you about there, you are trying to put the blame on the normalization.
No,
Wait, hear me out. Hear me out. The will, you see, just like, right, one thing I don't realize you said is that if we had get banned, the stakeholders would have taken from the bottom of the barrel and bring it up. Why are the stakeholders not doing that now? Because we are the bottom of the barrel. Wait, let me continue, right? They could have come together, decided, well, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's see if we could get our funding, and let's see, right, what we could do. Why are we still dependent on a normalization committee? Because there would have been no normalization committee or anything if we had gotten banned. The stakeholders who are interested in doing something right, and that's my whole point. There are no stakeholders. Wait, let me finish with this point, and then you'll see. Every stakeholder in Trinidad and Tobago at this time, that's why I have stopped even going to see football, have their own self-interest. And we will never come together. It's the same thing with our country, right? We are everything else before we are Trinidadians and Tobagonians, right? And we could never unite to do anything because every other stakeholder has their own interest. It have this man in town who have stores and so on and so forth. He want his team and he want to become president. It had this man who's selling tank. He want to be here. He want his team and he want to become president. And we don't have a united football force.
The same stakeholders you're talking about. It is incorrect to say that there are people who don't want to help. I met people. I can't talk on behalf of them.
Of course not.
I talk on behalf of myself. I offered. I said, what do you need, Mr. Haradu? Is there anything that I can help with? This is me. I made a decision once I became the president of the Coaches Association. I will not accept any coaching jobs with DTTFA. That's on principle. I don't have to. I could. I mean, every national senior team, every association that come in, come over with this thing. That's not my. It doesn't help, right? And again, I can't make a difference just coaching on one team. What we need is to set up structures that will feed players
and
in.
my point is, Jeff,
that's what we need.
Why isn't that not happening with the stakeholders? The normalization committee.
They are not open to any.
Because it is not their mandate, and if you
So
don't
who's
accept
gonna
that,
do it?
the stakeholders
They
of
cannot,
Trinidad,
they cannot.
what
I'm
you
telling
just said, if we had gotten banned, it had no
So we're not
normalization
banned,
committee.
and there is
Well,
some
no,
few
but the
dollars coming in,
point
and that is what is dictating
Jeff,
everything.
Jeff,
You
no, that
cannot
is not-
operate by itself.
Jeff, that does not dictate everything.
It does.
No. And here the point.
Where's finance coming from?
That is my point to you, Steve.
So
That-
they have to help support
My
that.
point is this,
Yeah.
right? If the stakeholders come together and go united to the normalization
We
committee.
did that
Wait,
last year.
Just now.
I'm
Just
telling you,
now.
you're bringing up a point.
Just
we did that, and
that-
I'm giving you information
All right.
that we do. Even
But
if
just now,
these viewers don't have.
What document all they created?
We created a document on papers. We sent and we asked
sent
the.
it
there.
We asked the. That's the one.
Let
That's
me
the-
tell you, let me
so
tell you
you're
what-
But I was talking and you cut me.
No, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I was talking to make my whole point and you cut me
Yeah,
to
but
tell.
I'm
But
telling
let
you,
me make
the
my whole
point-
point and then you come in.
All right, I am
Go ahead.
talking
Right.
now. I am talking now. You asked him a question.
I didn't ask a question, I was making
You
a
say-
statement.
You
Yeah, but the
say
statement
where...
was-
Well, I was
But the
making my
document-
statement,
All
my
right,
full
go ahead.
I give
statement.
you a document.
No, that was after you cut me,
Go
right?
ahead, go ahead.
My point is this. If he does not accept that that is not the mandate of the normalization committee, they have a mandate
Which they have
that they
not
were
done.
given from FIFA,
And we know
right?
to fix finances.
Correct.
Not
We
just
know
that.
You, and that is their main mandate because
Okay.
they are not football
But
people.
who is going to
Right?
support, financially support the football itself?
Well, forget financially because
what
if
they're supposed
yeah,
to
And
but
that is my point there because he made the point, and this is where I was going with it. He made the point that we get banned, so we have no finance, right?
No.
If we get banned, we have no finance
Right,
from FIFA, right?
Right.
That the stakeholder, this is
Yes.
his point, and that's where I was going with it.
But that's why
This
I
is
say
his
I
point
understand
that
your
the
point,
stakeholder, well, let me finish.
Okay.
This is his point that I'm going right to him with. If it is that we got banned, he said that the stakeholders would have come together, the real stakeholders of football would have come together and come up and bring football up from the bottom, blah, 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 blah. That could happen now.
no, that's what I'm telling you. And that was saying all that you talk, I would tell you no.
Why
Because
can't happen?
I'm telling you from my experience, and I don't have more. I never asked for no money. I don't need no money to do what I can do. The people who want to move the football forward, right? What I have resigned at doing. You see in your communities, go there and work. Be the best coach that you can be in your community, right? That has nothing to do with the NC. That has nothing to do. At the end of the day, you would have been doing that anyway. Now, the motivation, knowing that the players that you're preparing, the environment for them at the highest level that they are pushing and striving to be is in a mess, right? But, I mean, that's what we as coaches in the community have to fight through. We have to fight to continue to produce top quality players, right, with the limited resources. And again, you have no support coming. There will be no support coming from the TTFA in a very long time, all right? And that's what we must know and accept. Those of us who at a higher level, more directly connected to the framework, the system of the TTFA, same way, there's nothing coming from the TTFA to you. We have to work on our own. There are people doing that now. And again, trying to engage with this NC, not in a financial way. I'm telling you what I'm concerned. I never asked them for anything. There's nothing that they can give me. There's nothing for
because
them.
You are not the only stakeholder in football.
I'm not saying that, Clarke.
Well, all right.
I'm not saying that there are others who we know
no, but
that we working with.
But Clarke is saying, why can they not come together?
Correct.
We have come together.
Not who are we? Because just now, you are speaking about...
The TTFA is made up of different members. All the zones, you have the members of the Super League, members of the
Southern Football League.
Right, that is the TTFA. The TTFA is made up of members, right? You have referees, what have you. Nice? This is the group that I'm talking about, right? They are referred to as stakeholders in the AGM, right? We are members of the TTFA. Nice? This body did a letter to the NC. And again, that is the one I'm talking about.
A letter.
Letter, document,
what
same
document?
thing.
What was the document? Explain the document and write down the contents of the document.
It was on the papers. I could forward that to you.
No.
Right?
Just no. Give me the breakdown.
No, the breakdown was asking.
No, wait a minute. Just the breakdown.
breakdown was asking the NC for an update on their mandates, right? And asking them when are we going to be able to impact, when are we able to do our jobs, basically. When are we going to be able to do our job? The job of the members is to, of course, organize Toronto football. The part that Clarke says not the NC's mandate, that is our constitutional mandate, based on the TTFA, right? And we were asking them, listen, listen, how are we going to carry about this business, right, when you are finished with yours? When are you going to finish with yours? All that stuff, right?
There's my point, Jeff.
But
That is not you doing your job. If you do your job, prepare a 5-year plan, take that, do your job. Wait, let me finish. But you didn't present that to the normalization committee.
The normalization committee, we had a... That's what I'm saying.
My point is this.
We did that to...
My point is this, right? The stakeholders that you're talking about, right? You know what I consider those stakeholders? Gimme. Because not with, hear me out.
But the NC is giving me too.
Hear me out.
So we have one set of people.
Hear me out. The stakeholders that you call football, right? The Referees Association, right? Still run by a man from the Ice Age, right? Wait just now, you don't have to comment on that. That is my comment. I can say what I want, right? Still run by a man from the Ice Age with his own opinions and his own arcade way of thinking. One, right? That's the Referees Association, where he controls everybody and everybody goes at his demand plan, right? Right? You now have the Coaches Association, right? Not anything on you because it's now formed and you now become the president, right?
Yeah.
But they have not represented or done. You are the first person that come and trying to do something. They have not done anything for Trinidad and Tobago football for a lifetime.
He is saying they do have a plan, and they do have something, and they do went to the normalization committee. This is what I'm hearing.
With the football plan.
With the football plan, but they never get no support.
I don't believe that because
right
here why I don't believe that.
Right
here why I don't believe that.
You don't believe me
because
then?
No, I don't believe that because I don't believe what I am asking for. He is referring to. That's what I do believe. Because we have a technical director, and therefore, if that plan was, because he is supposed to be part of the right football stakeholders, if that plan was approved by the technical director, we have a coaches committee. If that plan was approved by the coaches committee, well, there's a team that really does a committee.
That don't exist.
Yeah, it does. I tell it exists because somebody here on the committee.
That coaches do it. That coaches committee don't exist.
I tell it functioning.
Hello. Me, I'm the host.
Yeah.
He's saying that we have it. And you saying they should supposed to do finances. So we saying we can do both of the, both
have
of
to
them
do
should
both
be
at the same
working
time.
at the same time.
Have to.
But it's not.
Why?
Because
That's what I was saying.
Because
They
the
submitted for
stakeholders
acceptance.
are not together. That is my point. If the stakeholders are together and they present something to this normalization committee and they are there as a body,
No.
the normalization committee is going to work. You right? You right know why I'm saying so?
But you said that's not a mandate, Clarke.
It is not their mandate. But if the stakeholders are in one unison
right.
form, it's going to work.
we had to do that in another show. All right, who is going to win the Gold Cup?
I think Mexico.
Mexico?
Mexico.
And because they're the best team?
They
you
are
think?
playing the best brand of football and they have a lethal attacking force.
All right, you, Jeff?
It's up in the air. I mean, Mexico might be the favorites, but I wouldn't count out Panama. I don't think Mexico has been outstanding. Actually, the last game they played against Jamaica was
They have
probably the best
improved
game.
every game. Yeah.
Probably their best game.
Mhm.
So it's going to be interesting. They are the favorites, but I always kind of like support the underdogs.
So you like Panama?
Yeah.
Just like Clarke, you like Mexico, you like Panama, on different ends of the spectrum.
No, we're not
That's
necessarily.
really, that's
Right, necessarily we are not off the same, we are on the same wavelength. eh?
Alright.
Yeah.
We are not, we are on the same wavelength, but
Yeah, man.
I think the only thing is that Jeff is asking more of the normalization committee.
I
that-
talk about the Mexico game.
Well, no,
No,
I'm talking about
you-
overall that you're saying that we
Yeah.
are, right? I think Jeff is asking more of the normalization
Then
committee
they have to.
than,
I didn't want to.
than it's their mandate to do.
I didn't want to. That,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I
yeah,
leave
that is why.
administration out.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, buddies, hear what? I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for the battle and the discussion. And I hope the viewers understand
Always a pleasure. Man.
what's going on there, because that's exactly what goes on between
Not
football
enough.
and children.
Not enough
Not
goes
enough,
on.
Correct.
A bit of football. So thank you for being here and expressing yourselves the way you did.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Viewers, thank you for tuning in every Tuesday night today. And NCBN TT, thanks for the opportunity. And viewers, we do have a Facebook page. You can check us out. We do have an email address, philodreamtt@gmail.com, where you can drop us a line. This show has ended. Go in peace. I'm Steve David. Good night.